weather has been terrible though. It's getting me down now. I'm thinking, oh, I should start taking vitamin D.
I agree with you, Sangeeta. The weather has been affecting, well, the weather hasn't been great this week, but also because I'm part of a very special group, I know that there's a lot of shifts, and Lilian, Vivien, and probably know about it, astral shifts. So planets and the stars. There's a lot of things happening that are affecting us in addition to everything else.
Yeah, I don't know how much to, go by astrology.
Well,
Can I answer?
Yes, I think Vivien, you can.
Or Lilian,
Vivien, no, Vivien, I'm not into astrology, but I do understand how the planets shift and the stars and things like that.
Yeah.
But Vivien, your platform.
I've been following it for 30 years or more, and more recently I've got into how things affect us on more of a collective level, and it's only through mapping it, like hearing what is happening, and sometimes I check after the event rather than listen to a particular prediction or something and then find out think, oh, well, that's going to happen, so I'm not manifesting something that I'm expecting, and it comes up trumps every time. And for me, it's been such a good guidance system because I found some really good ones that keep you calm. They don't let you I can recommend anyone and need it, but they're really spiritual themselves. So for me, it's because my belief system is that I think we have I can explain it, sorry, I'm going on.
How to put it, yes.
Yeah, it's my connection with the universe. So I believe that we're driven by energy and universal energy, and that we have we've got conscious mind, which is the 10%, which is just the tip of the iceberg, but then there's 90%, which is our unconscious, which is our guidance system. And for me, that is tuned into the universe, and the astrology helps that because there's certain aspects of different planets that have different energies, and sometimes they have more focus and less, and so on. And so astrology for me is just a guidance system. It's not a case of, well, you're going to meet a tall dark stranger today or whatever, but it's more about our moods and our energies and influences and general energy all round. In fact, a lot of what's been happening in the last 6 months has all been, you can map it astrologically. So it comes in, I think also because we're based on water, most of our body is made up of water. That, and I certainly feel the pull, being a water sign anyway, and the moon changes, and just every time I've been amazed by it so many times, and now I've studied it as well, and I can look at charts, and I like to look at the interpretation before reading what they think it should be. I just look at it myself, and I just find it works. But when I meet new people, I don't like to ask, and because I don't want to prejudge any person or any situation. But I sometimes think of doing it more professionally, but that one's parked for now. At the moment, I've got other things to do. So yeah, sorry, I've been long.
I was just going to ask. It's fine that let's say for me, it's very simple. The sun's not out, so it really gets me down. And when it goes on for days, it's like it gets me down. For me, it's that simple. Okay, if we take that example, so is it more a case of being aware, okay, the sun's not there, which is why I'm feeling this way, or is there more?
Lots more. The sun is just...
that's just an example. I'm just saying, okay, if the planets are in whatever, then this is how I feel. Is that it?
It's not going to tell you how you feel. It's a guidance system, and it highlights your choices. So according to whatever is in focus at the time, if someone's feeling continually out of sorts, then my first thing would be, okay, well, are you really in tune with your unconscious? Regardless of what's going astrologically, it's about your conscious connection with your unconscious. And I'm also a hypnotherapist, so that's the strongest thing, and the astrology for me enhances. So I couldn't possibly say that the stars are making you feel bad. if there's something that's not good for you, then there's something at a deeper level which maybe you might work out one day.
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, I come from India, right? So astrology is a big thing. It's a huge thing.
I was going to say, Sangeeta, because
Yeah, but then
when a baby is born in India, you do not name the baby before consulting gurus who are linked to astrology, isn't it, Sangeeta? Is that correct?
Astrology plays a huge part. I mean, I've been brought up a Christian, so we are not. My mom is big time into it. I mean, not now, but there was a phase when it just simply came to her. She could just read palms. She could, just tell people what was going on. I remember it was a couple of years. I would come back from school and the living room would be full of these women. And I would go, what the hell's going on? She didn't really pursue it, or it just came, and she liked to help people out. But for me, it's never been a very 100%. Let me give example. Okay, how can I give? Okay, for example, just your weekly things, or you have a question and you read something. I just feel it's all so vague. It's never like 100%. Sometimes I say, okay, this is what I'm thinking about or whatever. And I look at it, I read it, I say, okay, great. It's either in sync or it's not in sync. Okay. And then a few weeks later, a few days later, whatever, it's completely opposite. And then you read, and then there's something that correlates to that. And you think, well, what the heck's going on?
If I can share how I link, I use astrology and holistic methods as tools. So I incorporate them in my daily life and in my daily life and my business life as well, because anything that affects me will affect my business. So I use them as tools, and such as meditation, such as I'm trying to incorporate more natural things from back into my life. So yes, I use them as tools. They're not going to guide me, but they're going to be pillars, if I can put it that way. They're going to be pillars in my life that help me give some structure as well. That's how I see it, but I'm sure everyone has different views.
Sorry, can you give an example?
So a very specific example is meditation. So I use this as a tool during my life. This week I was feeling really strange. I was feeling not grounded, so I was feeling unable to focus as I usually am able to focus on my work. And I thought, this is very unlike myself, and there's no external elements in my surrounding that I can see that has affected me in any way for my attitude or my mood or my feeling to change in such ways. And this is when I reached out to look further. I reached out to the group of more holistic practitioners. Vivien is part of it as well. And this is where they mentioned that there were a lot of shifts happening way outside our planet that could very well affect how we humans feel. So this is my take on things, but again, anyone else has an opinion on this?
I mean, I've heard about, and I haven't really looked into it deeply, about working with the cycle of the moons. I don't know if you do that, Vivien. And in line with women's cycles. I'm very much aligned with working in line with women's cycles, because as we know, our hormones can fluctuate, go up and down, and likewise, you know, when the moon is out or there's certain phases of the moon, it affects the sea as well. So things like that, it's all nature entwined, isn't it? But it's how we, and we're part of nature, it's how we flow with that, because we might find some weeks, or like your example, Ariane, you know, you woke up and you thought, well, this is very odd of me to be feeling this way, you know. And sometimes it's not what's going on inside of us, but it could be something in nature itself that's affecting us. And as Vivien touched on, you know, the collective energy of what's happening, especially, you know, when things are happening on a global scale, like we're still, you know, even though we're emerging out of lockdown, there's still COVID-19. There's still lots of things going on collectively that can affect us subconsciously or or consciously. So I'm very much about, yes, you know, the sensitivity of what's happening in the atmosphere, in the environment.
Sally, I'd be interested to know if you have any view on this topic.
It's not really my topic, but I will say that when I was doing my collector's fair on Saturday, it was very, very windy. And the wind has been driving me crazy, and it was windy today. And I was moaning about the wind. And this man, Gilles, who I just met, said, actually, this is the first time in however long that the moon is close to the earth, so this brings the wind. So the wind, and like Sangeeta, the wind and not having the sun have a direct impact on me, because, you know, it's July and I want some sun and I don't want so much wind. So that definitely affects my mental well-being, because I want to get on with my life and do stuff. So I can, you know, I can kind of see that. I've been saying that I do a bit of Qigong in the mornings, which I've been doing since lockdown. It's just on YouTube. This woman called
Katie Brindle.
No, it's not. It's a woman called Marissa.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere very nice, I think, in Southern California. And she's got cats playing in the background, which I like. And I kind of do that with her because it keeps my muscles strengthened. But that's about it, really. You know, like Sangeeta was saying, I can read about Sagittarians. I am a Sagittarian. I look as though I have a lot of characteristics and stuff like that from it. There's a bit of correlation, but that's, you know, that's it, really.
Yeah. Sorry, there's just an alarm going on. I need to check what's happening.
Okay.
Excuse me. Please, I'd love you to start to share your highlights of this week, business-wise. What have you achieved business-wise that you're that you'd like to share with us? Who would like to start? Raise your hand. Come on, don't be shy. Sangeeta, I'm going to go and check what's happening.
Yeah, you carry on. Yes. I always feel under pressure when there's a question no one's answering. I have got to go. So my highlight has been restarting my online art workshops again.
Oh, good.
And I'm also thinking about, I don't know, that we should all do things outside now. I've had enough of, you know, lockdown. So there's that shift in my thinking. The other thing I was actually really stressed about this was jury services.
Oh,
I mean, I've done mine just in the last 5 years. So I was very, you know, surprised that they picked me again. And a couple of weeks back, I got email saying, don't come in unless, you know, we will get in touch with you again. I was like, yeah, that's great. Then I got a call yesterday saying, oh, you have to come in on Monday. I was like, I really don't want to. I don't want to get on public transport, you know, all that. And I was like really hoping that once I go in, I would not be picked. But suddenly there's this email that's just come now, just an hour back, saying, oh, you don't have to come in. I'm a bit confused. I'm hoping that is final.
Who is that from, Sangeeta? Sorry, I missed it. Sorry.
Yeah, jury services.
Oh.
Yeah, because I've already done once, like 3-4 years back. And, you know, right now, going on public transport every day, being in that building, it's just, you know, not really the ideal
Yeah.
situation.
They sound like they don't know what they're doing anyway.
Yeah.
So the choice is, do you bother turning up and then be sent home, or do you just not go, or even try and ring someone? It's a tricky one.
Yeah, no, I mean, the email clearly states this is your confirmation. They have underlined it. It's in bold. So, Ariane, I got an email. I got a call yesterday confirming, but then I got an email just an hour back saying you're not required to come. I'm like, I just hope that is the case.
Just ignore it then. You know, go by the last one that is suitable for you.
No, that is the latest. So.
I mean,
Do your online courses. That's that's the other thing you missed, Ariane. She said she's starting up her online courses again. That's far more important. And if they really want you, they'll ring you.
Yeah.
I mean, don't they do that anyway? I did it a few years ago, jury service, and they kind of banked people together and then discharged them. You know? So
Yeah, there's a lot.
Mine was at the Old Bailey, and I had to go up there, but not everybody was chosen. It was a very random system. So I think that's kind of what they do, and maybe now they can't get people together, Sangeeta, it's not worth getting you to go into.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
they just say, actually, we haven't got those cases, we haven't got that, you know, we don't need you.
But weren't they going to do it online?
No, I don't think they do it online.
Oh, no, because of what the COVID was happening, because they were saying they were going to do cases online now, obviously because of, you know, spreading the COVID. So,
yeah.
I don't know whether they can or not. I mean, I know one thing that certainly with our organisation, we need to have an annual general meeting. You're meant to have that. And that's going through law now, but very slowly. So everybody who's under that thing, that, you know, there is that legal aspect that will take quite a long time, I would have thought, to put in place.
So what are they saying for the AGMs, Sally? That
you couldn't have them online, but now they're trying to put the law in place. And as we know, the law works very slowly.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm kind of waiting to hear what that situation's about.
They need to be there need to be some correlation between what they're telling us to do and not to do, and that what is actually possible to do.
Lucky.
Yes. So are you restarting your workshops, Sangeeta? Is that what you were saying? Are you launching back your art workshops?
Yes, online. Yeah.
Well done, well done.
I think I should join this time.
Oh.
Just to say, weekends are great for me. I'll put it out there. Weekends or Fridays.
Have you got a mailing list that I can add myself, so that, like, when you're doing them, you can, or is it on Facebook or?
Drop your email address, or let me just type it in the chat.
And it's on your website, is it, Sangeeta?
Yes.
Sangeeta Sans Art, is it? .co.uk?
Yeah.
So has anyone got any highlights from this week, business highlight they would like to share? Sally, Lilian, Vivien?
Well, I have to say, I really enjoyed doing my collectors fair last Saturday in Barnes Pond.
Well done.
If anybody's got
not in the pond, I hope.
Not in the pond, outside it. It was lovely. It was really good. It was really social. And one of the things that I learned from talking to people there is that you do have to show a kind of consistency. So a lot of people were saying, oh, will you be here next time? Will you be here next time? So there was 3 of us doing it, 3 friends. We all had our different stalls, different things. One of them actually nailed it, but he's there the whole time. So it's like, yeah, okay, so now we know. My other friend and I, it's like, yeah, we'll be here next month. And that's the way you build up trust and you build up custom. And yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd like to come to the next one. I love collectors things, so if you can.
So just to clarify, because last week I wasn't clear enough, if you want to type in the little notes on the sides, if you want to share anything, and then I'll share it with everyone else. So I think, Sally, you already shared yours. Can we share it?
I mean, it's a bizarre thing. The man who organises it doesn't publicise it very well. So the only thing I can find to share is where it is, which is Barnes Pond, which is on it's the first Saturday of the month. I will put a reminder up on it, but it is extraordinary and it is busy because it's right there in Barnes, you know, so the community of Barnes come, and they've got a farmer's market too. So it's a nice little morning out, to be honest, and lunchtime out.
At what time does it start?
10,
making a mental note.
10 till 3.
Lovely.
Yeah, and it's outside.
I'll reshare the link under the video, Vivien, so you can find the details.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done, Sally.
Thank you. I'm very good.
Lilian, what have you been up to? You've been quite busy. We haven't seen you last week.
I think it's been about 3 weeks or something. The tail end of my interview with Jasmine Hemsley, you know, it's just been almost weekly, you know, calls, people calling and booking in calls and fielding people, and it's been interesting. Yeah. There's a lot of women who are making changes, and you know, with the COVID happening, and they don't want to go back into their stressy jobs, or people are changing careers, or you know, their businesses as well, and looking to make changes in that. So just been guiding people in that and getting them enrolled on my courses, and yeah, it's been interesting. It's been good.
I think Vivien wasn't there when you explained, Lilian, about the interview you had.
Oh, okay. I had an interview with Jasmine Hemsley. I don't know if you're familiar with her. She's well known in the wellness space. Her and her sister and her partner set up Hemsley and Hemsley many years ago. And they used to do like private sessions, catering for celebrities and well-to-do people. And they brought out, I think they've got 3 cookbooks out. If you just Google Hemsley and Hemsley, you'll see them come up. And they're 2 sisters, and then Jasmine's partner Nick is also in that. And they got an eatery in Selfridges, London. Nice. And they sell all healthy foods and stuff. I've been there 3 times, and it's yummy food. But it's a small place, so you know, you can't book in advance. If you get there, you have to wait for a table to be free. It's that type of place. And yeah, she's very giving. And she saw me, she found me on Instagram. She loved what I was posting. And then she says, I have to have you on my wellness workshop. So she interviewed me. I shared about my story of burnout and health crisis and things like that. And lots of people related to that. So that's what's been happening.
And it has been non-stop since.
It has, yeah.
Well done.
I've been carving out time for rest and space as well. So
yeah. Yes, absolutely. Vivien, so the grandson has arrived?
Oh yeah, 2 weeks ago. Little loves. But following on from Lilian, that's the theme of my life at the moment, because in terms of business, I can't say that I've been busy, but what has happened, you see, I had burnout a few years ago and got fatigue, but basically I've finally taken control of my health, because I've cut out white carbs as of Sunday. So this week's a case of like, because you have a dip at first, because it saps my energy because of the fatigue. So cutting out that and doing my qigong every morning, because I was going to ask you, Sally, it sounds like you probably do it because it's a strength building one. I know there's different types of qigong, but mine's the they call it the 8 brocades. I did it for that's strength building as well, and I've now got energy, which is fantastic. So because I'm feeling better in myself, I realized before then I was just exhausted from life generally, because I've spent most of my life looking after other people and not looking after myself enough. The burnout came from stress, not necessarily, but I found that I was still exhausted, and then there's been all sorts of other things going on. And I realized that the exhaustion was stopping me motivate myself, because I realized, you see, if I have a client, I put my whole self into it, and I wouldn't expect them to do anything I wouldn't do, and etc. I realized, I thought, I'm just too exhausted to take on the commitment of a client, so therefore I was stalling myself and I was sabotaging my own efforts. So this is like a long way round of really doing self-care properly. I've always done self-care and given myself time off, but it's never felt like it was proper self-care. And it's the energy levels which make the difference, and cutting out the white carbs. So I mean, I haven't eaten pasta and rice for years anyway, but it's the bread that's the naughty one. But if I have bread, I'm just tired and I can't be bothered. So just by cutting it out, I feel better in myself. I'm slowly losing weight without thinking about it, because I cannot do diets. It's just, I haven't got the headspace for them. And so now I'm feeling great and enthused about my future, and that yes, I can achieve it, and I'm actually pacing myself well. I'm not rushing into things. I'm good at diving in, which isn't self-care. I'm feeling more focused, and so yeah, this week is just me and things around the house. And I keep saying, I did have a plan to do, like, start my article, my blog. And then of course, oh, can you look after your grandson today? Because I didn't have any sleep last night. All right then. And then there's something else. And then there's something else. And I tell you what, my daughter is putting me to shame. She's got her own. She started up her own business, and it's taken off just like that. She just got herself on Instagram. She is 18, and therefore doesn't have anything else to think about. But she's getting people that she doesn't know. She started off with friends. She's doing nails, but she's brilliant and she's very creative. And she's just gone with it, and I think a client's about to turn up now. I'm thinking, right, I better keep up with my daughter.
It's a great motivation, Vivien. It's a good challenge. Talking about mindset and maybe fear, because youngsters are fearless. They have this fearless attitude, or sometimes is ignorance, okay? So it's either or. You never really know which one it is. And talking of that, I was talking this week in a group online about fear when it comes to business, to small business owners. So I was sharing some tips on how to approach fear in business. So I will be sharing all those in a blog, and I'll share, of course, all of that with all of you. You can maybe pick up some tools, because there are practical tools to use in order to overcome some more psychological blocks or mindset blocks. So I'll share that with everyone. Wow, what an amazing chat today. It's been, we've covered quite different subjects today. Really, really nice and interesting. Thank you so much, Lilian, Sangeeta, Sally, and Vivien for joining online today. Any plans this weekend?
Well, I'm going away. So I'm thrilled about that.
You're going where?
I'm going away. I'm going down to the countryside. Not looking forward to the train journey, but yeah, I'm excited. Getting out of Brentford.
Lovely.
Anywhere nice?
Hayward Heath. It's not the most exciting.
That's all right. Yeah, but it's different. That's a nice part of the country, actually.
It is, and we'll probably go down to the sea. That's what we'll probably do as well. So
Sorry, where did you say?
Haywards Heath, which is not far from Gatwick. It is a lovely place, but we'll probably take the opportunity just to go and get down to the south coast and have a look.
Yeah.
Nice. I think it'll just be nice just to get out of London. So yeah,
Change of scenery.
Change of scenery. Leave my son behind.
Don't think about your house. Your house will be fine.
Is he going to have a house party though, Sally?
No, he won't. He won't.
How old is he?
He's 14. He won't be by himself. He won't be.
Oh, you don't know. You know, might just have a house party behind your back.
he's not quite at that stage yet. He's not quite at that stage yet. But I think that'll happen next year. I used to say about that. My brother, friends of mine reminded me that he doesn't do anything. He never goes out. Next minute, we never saw him. I think that'll be the same.
You know, with my son, he just didn't want to clear up after the people that came round. So with him, I was always fine. But with the next two, yeah, they've had their parties when I've been away. And then I found out later, because everyone knows everyone around here. But yeah, we're all still alive and the house is still standing. So yeah, you got to get away.
Yeah, I got that way.
There's 2 great organic farms near there. In fact, they're biodynamic, because I've been going that way quite a lot lately. You probably won't have time for buying foods and stuff, but yeah, it's nice.
There's always time for me to buy food.
Listen, it was absolutely lovely to see you all today. Have a lovely weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see each other soon again online.
Yeah.
Bye.
Have a good week. Have a good weekend.
Weekend.